We want to make sure that our settings are all good. So we want to go into it by clicking the edit button there, check on our availability, keep it as simple as possible here because we don't want to put resistance in the way of people booking those calls, especially when we start out. This just gives them some reassurance and increase the desire for them to go ahead and go through with the booking. Welcome back to another video in the series where I cover how to create a high converting call booking funnel for your service, your consulting or your coaching business. And this is the video that I focus on the calendar page. In the previous video, I did the landing page for the offer, which is the main page they go to. And that page links out to this one, which I'm going to walk you through here. I'm also going to show you the setup of the calendar booking system inside WordPress, which is what I'm using here. If you haven't seen the previous video, go and watch that one first because this would make more sense if you've seen that one. The landing page that I've put together is available as a download as well for free for a limited time. So you'll be able to import it into your WordPress installation and get things set up quite easily without having to build and design everything from scratch. So let's start by breaking down this page that you're looking at. So this is the scheduling page. We have the header section here. We have a feature section, and then we have the actual booking calendar where they can actually select the time and date. And you can do that by just clicking the date first and basically look at what times are available, select the time. You'll be able to fill in your name, email address, and put what the meeting is about here, what the call is about in this section here. Now you can add more questions to this if you want to filter people and to qualify people a little bit more, but especially when you're just starting out, you want to keep it as minimal as possible. You can always follow up and ask questions after they've made the booking. So essentially, once someone clicks the button to send off their submission, what we want to do is then redirect them to a custom page, which is a thank you page that we've put together as well. We're going to do that in a future video, and that's going to be optimized for even more conversions in terms of getting them to shop for the call and also set the stage for them to become a client, hopefully for them to close the deal with us. Now, what I'm going to do is just break this page down. So I'm going to go into edit mode here, and this is WordPress. As I've mentioned before, you can build this out in whatever tool you prefer. There's lots of different platforms and tools you can use out there. Now, the theme is the Astra theme, and I'm using the Spectra plugin alongside that as well to give me a lot of design options here that you don't have in the standard WordPress format. So that makes it easy to design these sections and so on. Okay, so first of all, we've got the header area here, and I'll just break that down for you here. So you have an outer container, an inner one, and then you have the text module here, which is basically the headline. And we want to optimize this headline for them to go and click the date and time and then complete the booking. So we're always saying here is schedule your call. You can write it a different way. Then we have an image here, repeating that same image from the landing page as well. Well, this is not the exact image I had in there, but you can swap this out easily by just coming over to, you can go to replace where it says here, and you can just select another image from your library or upload an image there as well. You can adjust the settings of the image across here as well. The image is actually not a circle, but you have this shape modifier here that you can change to do it the way that you want. But again, we're not trying to over design. We're trying to keep things as simple as possible here so we can actually focus on optimizing for the conversion. And the less we do in terms of design, the better people can consume the information that's on here without distractions and do what they need to do. Here we have a sub headline or a subtext, really just reinforcing what we set up here. So this is just telling them some instructions here to select the date and time below and send a request. And then the next section down from that, we have a little feature section here. So this is talking about what the call is about. We're just reiterating some of the benefits that they get on that call. And this just gives them some reassurance and increase the desire for them to go ahead and go through with the booking. And on this right hand side here in this section, we have what's called a short code. It's basically a code that pulls in information from another section or another piece of software in terms of the plugins that's installed. In this case, we're using FluentBooking, which is one of the most powerful booking systems you can have inside WordPress. And this allows us to basically show that calendar. And I'll show you how to do the basic setup of that next. If you're interested in grabbing this page along with the rest of the funnel pages, I will leave links in the description once I've packaged everything to allow you to be able to download that and install it, customize it. You can upload pictures, the colors, change the text, whatever you need to do. So let's talk about setting up FluentBooking. So you need to actually install it from the WordPress repository. It's a free plugin. If you go to your plugins area and select add plugin, add new, and then search for FluentBooking, you'll be able to get the free version there. And that will get you by for getting basic bookings coming through. However, for our purposes to build out a fully optimized lead conversion funnel, we need the pro version because it has some advanced features in it that we're going to need. You're going to need to have your calendar sync feature to sync with whatever calendar you use. So then it would know when you're not available, not to book someone through. And when someone books in, it will just automatically add it to that calendar. And second of all, we're going to need to redirect someone to a custom page. And this advanced feature is only available in the pro version. It's going to be linked in the description. And if you go ahead and grab that, you'll be able to get this set up the right way. So here I am already inside the dashboard area for FluentBooking. I've obviously already installed it. And if we head over to calendar or calendars, what we'll see is what we have set up in terms of event calendars. And an event is essentially each meeting or each call that we have specifically set up for whatever reason. This is the one that you've seen already set up. That's on the page that I demonstrated. But I'm going to show you how to put together one from scratch here. When you first install the plugin, first of all, there'll be a setup wizard that walks you through the basic settings that you need. You can skip through that setup and still get to all the settings in here, so you don't need to do it that way. But what I'm going to do is just show you the key things that we're going to need for our purposes here. And you can always dig into or dive into the additional features. There's lots of documentation on this plugin already, so I'm not going to go into every single little detail here. So what we want to do is go ahead and click on new event type just here. And we want to click one-to-one, right? This is what we're setting up here. And we want to give it a name. So I'm going to call this demo call. And you can put a description. I'm not going to bother to do that. You can set the time here. So whether it's 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 15 minutes, however long you want to put, I'm just going to leave it as the default 30 minutes. In terms of location, you have several ways that you would do the meeting, but I normally would just select online meeting, and you have the option, well, it's mandatory to put something in here, but you can put the call link. So I use Google Meet, so I can put my default Google Meet link there. Or you can put whatever link you want that people will be able to come through and have that meeting. I'm just going to put to be advised here. You can display the meeting on the booking page, the link on the booking page as well. I don't think that's necessary because you can confirm that afterwards or send it to them afterwards. So I'm going to update that. And then I'm going to go ahead and confirm or continue rather. And as simple as that, that event has now been created. But what you want to do is make sure that you go through the key settings that you need here. First of all, the availability. You want to make sure that this is set to what you want. So you can keep it as the default to when you set up the plugin. You would have had to set up your default availability. It sort of sets it up as this anyway, as 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. I didn't adjust it in this case, but you can go in here and select to adjust it by clicking availability here, and it will take you through to your availability page, which is in the main settings. And you can basically add times and remove things. Or if say you don't want to have meetings on Mondays, you can do that. Or you can add in Sundays if you decide to have meetings on Sundays, and this would be sort of like your default. I'm going to click back on that one there because I don't need to make any adjustments to it. The next thing you want to look at is your questions settings. This is where you have those questions in the form. So this is basically the default information that it collects, and you can go ahead and add more questions. But I want to say to you, keep it as simple as possible here, because we don't want to put resistance in the way of people booking those calls, especially when we start out. We want to get as many people as possible coming through so we can test things, and then we can always filter it by adding more questions later. There are a bunch of different settings here, including the advanced settings that we will need when we're going to actually do the redirect to the thank you page, which is really important for us to be able to send the potential client to a custom thank you page. We want to get them excited. We want to give them further information. You're not going to have this unless you're in the pro version. So that's a reason to install the pro version. I'm not going to set it up in this one here in this particular video, because in the next video, when we set up the thank you page, we're going to be able to sort that out. So once you're happy with the rest of the settings on this page, all you need to do is go ahead and share it by going to where it says share, click on the button there. And in this case, we have a short code. We have some other options as well, but we're not going to cover these in this particular video. We're going to go ahead and click on the short code here, and it automatically copies it to the clipboard. And what we need to do is head over to the page here that we need to add it in. As you can see, the previous ID says ID 1. We'll just delete everything there and just paste in the one that we just got, which is ID 3. And we're going to save that page now. And essentially that new calendar is going to be the one that's showing up on the page. Now there is a way to add this in the page as well, with a block that already comes in WordPress here. But I find that it's a little bit clunky, especially showing up inside the theme that I'm using here, which is Astra. So you can always use the short code, because that's kind of like guaranteed to work. If I preview this now on the front end, what you will see is that we've got everything with that new calendar. It says demo call. So you can see this is the other one that we've just set up here. And it's as simple as that. And by the way, this works pretty neat in mobile as well. If I inspect, you'll see what's happened is that it actually is swapped around. So we have the header, and then we have the calendar next in line. And then obviously the information down here. Whereas on desktop, what you see is that these are the other way around. You have the calendar last. And essentially in Astra, it makes it easy for us to do that by, if we come to the sections here, just a little quick tip here for you. If we come to the container, the main container here that has everything in there, we can see that there. And then we have an inner container that has these two. And as I hover over each thing, you can see what thing is in what container. So this top container here that contains these two, if we go to the settings for that, over on this side here, you will see an option that says reverse orientation. Right now it's not on because we're in desktop mode. I just clicked it by accident. But if we click on the mobile icon here, you'll see that I have it switched on here. So essentially it reverses the two containers. If I scroll through a little bit, then you'll see what I'm talking about. Look at where the short code is. I'm going to turn this off and it's going to flip. See, it's pretty neat. So this is how I essentially did that. So it's a nice way to optimize the user experience, especially for mobile, because most people will be browsing on their mobile. So you want to make sure that they get to the real thing, the main thing that they need, so they can see that booking calendar as soon as possible. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the next video on screen for you to watch now, which is going to go through the thank you page aspect of it, and then we're going to show you how to connect everything together and make sure that it all comes together nicely and all works for you. If you've got any questions or any comments, leave them below the video. I'll try my best to answer to the best of my ability, especially within the next few days after releasing this video. And as usual, you can see the resources linked in the description as well to download any of the layouts and things like that that I've got put together here for you, including that checklist as well that I mentioned in the very first video. I'll see you in that next video now.